What's up, guys? Welcome back to Burn the Ship, the podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to go all in on their business. And today, our guest is Dr. Colin Ritsick, and we're so happy to have you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
My name is Colin. I'm 32 years old, born and raised in Marietta, and I'm a chiropractor.
Okay, what's the name of your chiropractic company?
I work at Langley Family Chiropractic. So we are a family practice. We see kids, moms, dads, athletes, adults, womb to tomb is what we call it. Anybody from day one to the last day, we see the whole family. Langley Family Chiropractic, it's over in East Cobb. It's off Johnson Ferry, Lower Roswell. And Dr. Cheryl Langley is the head doctor, chiropractor, owner. She's an elite chiropractor. She's been doing it for 38 years now, which as a woman running her own business and doing it for that long in this area, super competitive market for chiropractic, it's a huge testament to her capabilities. So it's a really good place to be.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely think that I need to use you. So
Come on in.
So
Come
what's
on
your
over.
background? How did you start? Like, why did you decide to
Yeah.
become the person that breaks people in half to fix them?
No, stop it right there. We're not breaking anybody. It's wildly safe. But I've been a patient my whole life. So from age, I think like 2 up until today, I've been getting adjusted by chiropractors. So I've been a patient forever. So I've always believed in the power of the chiropractic adjustment beyond just neck and back pain. Like, yes, chiropractic is elite for neck and back pain. Like, we wouldn't be in business if we weren't great for neck and back pain, but it is so much more than just getting people out of pain. So I grew up understanding and feeling the benefit of getting adjusted by a chiropractor for brain power and immune system and body function and just clarity. And yeah, when I was hurting, it helped, right? But being a patient forever, I really firsthand understood that it was so good for just overall life and tip-top function in all capacities. So I come 4 or 5 years ago, my career that I had was coming to a head, and we could spend 3 hours talking about all the things that kind of converged all at once, but I truly thought I was guided to become a chiropractor. So I scrapped the old job and took a big leap of faith into a new world, and it's what I'm supposed to do. It's what I'm here for. I'm excited about it.
That's really cool. How did you, you said that you started at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Good question.
If you don't mind me asking. No? I don't know if
I would
it's
love
too
to
invasive.
talk about it. No, not at all. I'm an open book. You can ask anything. My older brother had bad colic, which is basically just pain, and he wouldn't stop crying. And that come out of the diaper rash. So my parents tried a whole bunch of regular traditional medical opportunities. Nothing really helped. They were recommended by a friend to go see a chiropractor. 3-4 days in, the rash went away and he stopped crying, stopped all of his colicky symptoms. And my parents were like, okay, we're going to do that now because that worked like immediately. So they've just taken us in for my whole life until I was old enough to start taking myself in. And there's a lot of stories like that out there where a traditional medical model has failed people and they've found success with whatever their situation may be at a chiropractor, and they've realized, oh, this is legit. This is not just about a back pain situation. This is like whole body, holistic, full function. So kudos to my parents for taking a chance and doing something a little. At early 90s, it was not quite as mainstream as it is today. And then they saw that it worked. The proof was in the pudding, and they just kept taking us back, and it kind of snowballed from there to where I just have been seeing a chiropractor forever, and it's been great.
Well, you said that. So where did you study at? Because you said like in Georgia. Mm-hmm. Where'd you go?
Life University is down Cobb Parkway. So it's the largest on-campus chiropractic college in the world. People come from all over. My classmates I had 110 in my class, and I had people from New Zealand, Germany, a ton of people from Puerto Rico, all over the United States, obviously Canada, Peru. There's people from all over the world come to go to school on Cobb Parkway. It's kind of mind-blowing. But yeah, Life University, and it's it's a really good place. A lot of like-minded people, all really there to try to advance humanity and take care of our brothers and sisters. It's a really great, loving, serving community there.
So with you saying that it fixes like your mind, how does that come into play? Like just because they get out of the physical pain so their mental is better?
Sure.
Or
yeah, that's an easy way to put it. We deal with your nervous system. Now your nervous system lives in your back. So your spinal cord, your brainstem, your brain is all housed and protected by your vertebrae. All the nerves that go out into any part of your body all exit through your vertebrae, these little windows. And so people will come to us for neck and back pain, sure, because we're back doctors. Like, I get it. But when you move a bone out of a bad motion pattern and free up the nervous system, all those little nerves that exit out of those vertebrae, you're doing more than just relieving pain. You're removing interference from the nerve system. And with that comes, everything, us talking right now, you're listening, you're sitting in a chair, you're doing a ton of things that you're not even thinking about. And all of that is controlled by your nerves. And so if you have any interference anywhere in your nerve system, like, yeah, you might not notice it, but there's going to be over time a degradation of the feedback loop that controls all of our senses, all of our functions. And so if you can take that interference and remove it, if you can free up the nerve system, the sensory motor feedback loop just gets better and better and flows as it was designed to. And the big thing that we believe is that you were made to heal. Like our body, if you cut your finger, it heals up. Like the Neosporin doesn't heal it, the Band-Aid doesn't heal it. Your body knows what to do. Your body will send whatever it needs to that site to heal from the inside out. That's what we deal with. So when you can remove interference from a nerve system, you can start to encourage people to heal from the inside out more than just what hurts. It's the blood flow to the brain. It's the nerve flow to your receptors in your fingers. It's the whole body. And we look at it through the spine because that's where the nerve system lives. That's where the spinal cord lives. But the effect is whole body. The effect is global.
So there's a lot of people that go to a chiropractor on the regular, even after they may have been in a car accident or been hurt, and they continue to go back. Is there a point that you, as a doctor, say, you should be okay, and they just continue to come back? Like, what is that point that you're like,
I hear you.
Maybe you're just overdoing it a little bit?
Right. Let me ask you a question maybe in return. Do you go to the dentist?
Yes.
Do you go?
I hate the dentist, but
Right,
I do.
right.
I have to.
Do you only go when you have a toothache? No, you go. I mean, I'm assuming you go for like, once every 6 months, once a year, whatever your situation is. You go for your checkups. You go to make sure things are good. You go to for maintenance of your mouth, of your teeth. Same idea.
Okay.
There's a point where, like, we've gotten you out of pain. You're living a fantastic life, but let's make sure that we're on top of things so that you don't fall into another hole and need us come limping in, needing a pain relief therapy. That's the goal, is to get people to a point where you're out of pain, you're feeling great, and now all that healing energy that was going to whatever injury you had, that healing energy is now directed towards optimization, like replenishing cells in your body that you didn't even know weren't getting the proper information. And so we want to make sure that we stay on top of that and take care of people from a maintenance perspective as just one of several things that they're doing for themselves to live their best life. Nutrition, working out, sleep, all these things are parts of what anybody should be doing to live their best life, and we're just one of it. And it's such a beautiful thing when people get it and they start to come in just because they know that they need to maintain spinal integrity, make sure there's not any aberrant motion patterns in their spine, make sure everything's flowing as free as it can. And that's my jam. That's where I'm at. It's like I love that when people come in for just knowing that it's going to make things a little clearer, consistent maintenance over time.
Gotcha. So just as an example, I broke my ankle and I went to the chiropractor and it really was helping, but I went to like the joint. So how is your business different than going to, like, I'm assuming that the joint is similar to like the McDonald's of fast food, like
joint's great.
a
Joint's
very
great.
like high end,
Yeah, they're a
like very
franchise.
frequent place that people go to. So
I
how
went-
is yours different? Why would
Yeah.
people come to you instead of going to somewhere like the joint?
Right. Good question. Good question. I want all people all over the earth to experience chiropractic care. And the joint is excellent at providing that to people who might not otherwise get it. The price point, the availability, they're in communities where there might not be another chiropractor. So whatever route people take to get into a chiropractor, I'm for it. All good. The reason somebody might come to Langley Family Chiropractic is because they know that we're not just one of dozens to hundreds of chains of chiropractic. We are Dr. Colin and Dr. Cheryl. We love you. We want to take care of you. We want to make sure you and your family are as good as humanly possible. And that human connection is a huge part of chiropractic, in my opinion. So, and people can find that at the joint. You know, people can find a doctor that they love, that they know is coming from a good place of love and service, and continue to go there and get great results. So, like, that's fantastic. But the reason somebody might come to us is because it's a family practice. It's run by somebody in your community. It's owned by somebody in your community. We want to see people in our community. We want to make sure Marietta, East Cobb, Roswell, Kennesaw, et cetera, gets the proper chiropractic care that they deserve. So that's probably why somebody might see us versus a chain. But as long as somebody's getting adjusted by a chiropractor, I don't care where they go. Like I'm happy to take you. I would love for you to come see us, but I just want people to get checked. I just want people to live their best life, and chiropractic's part of that, in my opinion.
Yeah, your business is similar in the way that we run ours, right? Like my joint would be like Square, PayPal, Stripe.
Okay.
Like they can use those because they know what it is and it's easy to access. But being with like the MP group, we're right there. Like you get our cell phone numbers, you get our sales reps, so you come to our office. Like we have the best communications team ever.
Right.
Like we are one-on-one with you. You're not sitting on the phone with a robot for 30 minutes.
Yep.
And I know that when I went to the joint, I had 3 different chiropractors 3 different times that I went. And it's like that trust thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
your spine's in somebody's hands. You want to make sure you trust the person who's holding your neck in their hands. Like I get, yeah.
I am psycho. And the first time that I got my neck cracked, I watch way too many horror stories. Like
No.
I watch murder mystery, crime docs, like just actual horror movies my entire life, and you see people just and then they're just dead.
That's a movie thing.
That scared the living heck out of me.
We don't have to go too far into this, but I think this is a good opportunity to maybe help at least you understand maybe better what's actually happening. So if you take out all of the neck movement, the crack, take out everything you know about those movies, just follow the money. A chiropractor's malpractice insurance is the lowest by far of any medical professional in the world. Like exponentially lower.
Why is that?
Because we don't hurt people. Nobody's suing us. That's a generalization. Of course, some chiropractors do get sued. Yes, some chiropractors do hurt people, but by and large, our malpractice insurance costs are so much less than most medical practices because people are not, on average, suing chiropractors like that. And why would they not sue chiropractors like that? Because we're not hurting people. It's wildly safe. And not the place for this, but in my car, I've got a whole binder full of studies that back up that statement, that it is a safe, absolutely safe practice.
So what do you think of the people, I don't know if, I don't think that a chiropractor ever popped me like this, but what about like people saying like,
nice. Did you save that up for today?
No, I
didn't.
didn't.
That was perfect.
No, that's just bad joints
here.
right here. It's just
there we go.
Yeah. So what do you say to people that are like, say that that's bad? Doesn't it like air pockets or whatever and can give you like arthritis?
Yeah,
like,
you're all over it.
Do you have?
It won't give you arthritis. That's nonsense.
Okay.
So that's the first
great
thing.
For me.
That's nonsense. Arthritis is degeneration caused by lack of movement. arthritis is a closing down of the joint space combined with like creation of bone spurs from lack of movement.
So it's an urban legend.
This is movement.
That this is.
I'm not saying this
a
is
bad
good for
thing.
you, but I'm saying it's not bad for you. Now,
Okay.
if you're tilting it and turning it and you're doing it in all these weird angles,
Yeah, I've
that's
seen
going to
people
create a
do that
bad
too.
that's going to create a bad motion pattern. But I have, and this is, I'm speaking for myself here. I'm not speaking for the world of chiropractic. I have no problem with that. I don't.
What about when people pop their own neck? 'Cause
Then it gets a little hairy.
That freaks me out
Then
too.
it gets a little hairy.
Because a lot of my friends are able to just like rip,
Yeah.
and I'm like, don't do that,
wouldn't
because
do
it
that.
just scares me.
So there's a couple things to that. As a chiropractor, I'm aware of proper motion patterns, and I will do it sometimes to myself, but I would advise anybody never to like torque and pry on it. So I'll come here and I'll just let it go. And if there's a pop, there's a pop. But if not, I'm not forcing it. You don't want to thrust. You don't want to apply extra pressure. Like,
So like my
Turning your neck
two hand situation
not a
was
good
like,
idea.
that's, you're definitely
not
trying
a
to
good
like
idea.
force it.
Especially with your hand on your jaw. Like,
Yeah, 'cause a
your
lot of
jaw
people
connects
do
to your skull,
this
and
move.
you're just putting a lot of pressure on the jawbone and not actually your neck in order to create that feeling in your neck, and that's going to create a whole extra laundry list of problems.
I'll have to tell some of my friends that
Now
then, 'cause
the
they
the
need
crack.
to
I actually just
stop.
made an Instagram video about. I called it the crack. I explained in detail what the crack that you hear is, and it's like you said, it's air bubbles. It's nitrogen gas trapped inside of a joint. That just, it's like when you open that can of Coke, it made a sound, right?
Right.
That sound wasn't coming from the metal being splintered. It was coming from the gas inside of the Coke releasing. So you've got all sorts of stuff in your joint spaces, but some of them are, one of those things are nitrogen bubbles, and they're stuck inside of the joint capsule. And when you move the joint, when you deliver a chiropractic adjustment, the joint space is shifted, it opens up, and those nitrogen bubbles just go from one side of the joint capsule to the other really quickly, instantaneously, and that comes with a sound. And that's what people hear, is nitrogen gas being shifted within a joint capsule. It's not a bone hitting another bone. It's not a bone breaking. It's not anything bad. It's literally just gas bubbles moving within a pressurized system.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Cool.
So do you handle somebody that maybe comes in with a car accident injury and they're sore and they don't feel well versus like an athlete that broke their ankle or somebody that's coming in for maintenance? Do you just
sure.
like,
All of it.
with
all
you
the
being a
above.
small owned business, I'm sure that you're able to keep up with the clients a lot more efficiently than like a big practice would.
Yeah.
So do you just like manipulate which, like, to different circumstances?
Right. Absolutely. Everybody that would come into our office, we have a tried and true system of analysis that includes nerve scans, x-rays, spinal screening, spinal exam. We do a whole chiropractic analysis to determine where these poorly moving joints are. And so
never
it's,
happened to me when I just got an appointment.
Yeah.
And that never happened. So that's really good to know.
Yeah. You can only feel like 15% of your nerves, and that's different for everybody, but a rough estimate, a generalization is like 10 to 15 to 20% of your nerves are things you can feel: cold, pressure, pain, vibration, stuff like that. All of the nerves that go to your organs, you can't feel if they're working properly. All the nerves that go to your muscles, you can't feel if they're working properly. So we have scans in the office that give us a look into how the autonomic nerve system is functioning, how the motor nerve system is functioning. So that's part of our analysis. And yeah, somebody with a car wreck, like, we're going to do a little bit more of a deep dive into their cervical neck motion pattern, because odds are they got a whiplash injury. Most car wrecks are rear ending or T-bone from the side. And so we're going to do a little bit more in depth on a car crash patient, but nonetheless, everybody who comes in is going to get an in-depth analysis tailored to what their story is. And it's going to be different for an ankle fracture, obviously.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, everybody that we see, we tailor their care plan and their analysis to the situation. But after we do all of that tailoring, the end result is going to be the same. You're going to get a great chiropractic adjustment. Like, you're gonna have normal motion pattern restored into your spine, and with that will come pressure off the nerves. And then the end goal is, no matter what people come in with, we want your body to be freed up to heal from the inside out as God intended it to. And that's our goal with anybody.
Yeah. Well, I started to laugh because I know Scott knows this. I last week got into a car accident.
No.
And initially, like, your adrenaline is so high. I didn't feel any sort of pain. I've got some bruising now, but my neck, I was wearing like a top the other day that comes around my neck, and I had to go home and change because it was putting too much pressure on my neck.
Dang.
Like, it's pretty bad. And the running joke is that I am the worst driver. And I know that, but
hey, awareness is half the battle.
My boss and all of my coworkers make sure to remind me. They're like, my boss is like, I've never had anyone in my life get in as many car accidents as you have.
Yeah, you're right. You probably do.
And it was 100% my fault.
Was it?
Yeah, I rear-ended somebody.
Okay.
And I didn't think about it, like, with my head coming down. Like, I busted my lip, I busted a blood vessel in my eye, and I didn't feel anything at first. And then it was that day after, I felt like I couldn't even get my head up off the pillow. So I definitely need to come see you. I know that we network with a couple people that are in the industry, but I told them that I would rather come see you. So I need to schedule an appointment for you to fix my...
Come on in. We'd love to take care of you. Like I said, you need to go see a chiropractor.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I would love for it to be me and us at Langley Family Chiropractic, but nonetheless, I strongly advise you go check one out.
I'd rather get ahead of it than it just
there you go.
stumble up on me one day and I feel like I can't move anymore. But yeah, I'll have to come see you.
Cool.
So tell our audience where you think that you could have possibly been better with your journey to become a chiropractor. Like, what can they...
Could have started earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. On one hand, I could have started earlier, but on the other hand, all the life experience I gained from the life I lived prior to it wouldn't have been there. And that's been a vital portion of me being a good communicator and coming from a good place of love and service. So yeah, something I could have done better would be start earlier, but also during my schooling, I should have shadowed more doctors. I've known several chiropractors in the East Cobb, Marietta area. And so I kind of just stuck to the people I knew. I definitely, now that I'm on this side of the experience, I should have spent more time going to see how various chiropractors approach their practice and gotten a much more broad perspective of all the techniques and systems that are out there. So that would have benefited me for sure if I had spent a little more time in school going out in the real world and checking in on how it's actually happening rather than keeping my head in the books and getting grades, you know?
Yeah.
But overall, I'm pretty proud of my journey. I think I did a pretty good job. Bought a house, had a kid, went to school all at the same time. So all that in the same time of life. My priorities were pretty set in stone, so I didn't have too much extra time to go out and about. Let's see, what else? How else could I have been better? I don't know. Something will probably come to me on the ride home for sure.
Yeah, no, I know. You could think of, like, I think that anybody in any career that they're in can definitely go like, well, I got a list of like 100, but I can't think of them all right now, because you can always be better at something. You can always do better at one thing or the other. Like you saying that you need to, or you could have like shadowed more people and stuff like that. That's kind of like going into training. I was a bartender for many years. So every day they would specifically put me with a different person to train with, because everybody has their different ways of doing things. Right. And you've got that person, which was me, that's like, this isn't how you're supposed to do it, but this is how I do it.
Right.
And then you've got the rule book follower. Like, you've got a lot of different like people that you can learn and kind of take all of that information and mesh it together to find the best like version of what you can possibly do. Right. But if you did enough, and I believe in you as a chiropractor.
Oh man, thanks. I
and as
appreciate
soon as
that.
you crack my neck back into place, then
Cracking
I'll give you
necks
an
and
even better
cashing checks.
recommendation.
Come on in. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think like the marking of a well-rounded individual is somebody who can hold multiple perspectives all at once. So having the several different bartenders teach you all things and not buying into only one of their systems, holding what was necessary from one person, getting what was necessary from the other person, and then blending all that together into what makes you you. Mm-hmm. That's the goal, right? I mean, being your own person, but you are your own person based off of your lived experience. So, yeah, it's been a good journey. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you. So tell the audience how they can reach you. Phone number, email, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff.
So let's do website, langleyfamilychiropractic.com. langleyfamilychiropractic.com. They can reach me on Instagram. It's probably the easiest way. Colin, COLIN _ Ritsick, RITSICK, Colin _ Ritsick. I'm trying to get my chiropractic social media game up and flowing. It's there. It's gonna be good. I'm trying. All right. Go to my page. Let me know if you like what you see. I've got a few things out there. Office phone numbers. Ooh, not on the top of my head is what it is.
We can link it in the bio.
Cool. But yeah, the easiest way is going to be Instagram for me, and then Langley Family Chiropractic for the practice.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you had to give a last piece of advice for anybody that is leaving their career, really wanting to go on a new venture, start their own thing, and essentially burn their ship,
right?
Going all in on their selves, what advice would you give to them? Why they should?
It's a beautiful thing to be on planet Earth and experience all of the life we get to live. And if you're spending 6 to 8 to 10 hours a day not doing something that pumps you up, look for something that pumps you up that you can make money from. And I feel like that's a super generalization, but I was at a point with my old career where I just didn't see how I was going to progress, and it made me so sad. And then when I finally made the plunge to burn the ship and start my chiropractic journey, everything has fallen in place since then. So like the classic cliches, like life's too short to do this or to do that or not do this or do that. But I mean, it's true. Like, what happens when you're about to die and you look back and it's like, did I work for somebody else or did I work for me? Did I put in energy and time and love and service for my boss, or did I put it in for me? And if you are in an office where like you know that you love it and you're about it and you still have a boss, like, that's fine. No worries. Do your thing. But if you're thinking about burning the ship, and if you're thinking about taking a leap of faith into whatever your industry might be, my personal opinion is God didn't bring you this far to abandon you. Like, you haven't been led to the edge just to then be hands off, let go, and not be supported. So if you can have the faith to take that leap, and you feel like it's what you're designed to do on planet Earth, like, go do it. It's going to, by making that kind of decision, all of your other decisions in your life are going to start to line up. It's not just a career. Like, my wife, God bless her, she's the best person in the world. She saw how sad and just like a shell of myself I had become in my old job. And when I brought this up, she's like, finally, thank you, Jesus, dude, come on, go, yes, let's do this. Like, you're gonna finally be yourself again. Like, you're gonna be on fire for something. Like, that's who I love. Like that. So a support system is obviously crucial. If you have a support system, gonna need that. It's a beautiful opportunity to be on planet Earth and live your life. So if you feel like there's something that's gonna fire you up, go do it. Like, let's live.
That's really great advice. I don't know if I've heard somebody say those words like, who are you doing this for? Are you doing this for your boss, or are you doing it for yourself? And that's super important.
Yeah. Like, I still have a boss. Like, I'm making her money, and I'm making my money. Like, I have a boss, but I'm still doing the work because it's what I'm on planet Earth for.
Right.
So it's not like you can only work for yourself. I'm not saying that, but like,
but in general, what makes you happy?
It's got to be what you're all about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. So, y'all make sure to go check out Dr. Colin and repeat the address of your location.
It is 4799 Old Town Parkway, Marietta, Georgia, 30068.
The other
Yes.
numbers. Yeah.
I feel like that's accurate. I feel like that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, as long as you know the street, then
Yeah.
they can just put it in their
Just
Google Maps and
us.
figure
Come
it out.
on in.
But thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on.
Thank
I
you
really
for having me.
appreciate you, and you're gonna have to crack me up soon.
Come on in. We'd
will.
love to have you. This has been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, y'all.